Hey everybody, welcome back to the Race 5 Smokehouse and Grill, and today we are taking this bone-in ham and making some delicious smoked pulled ham and cheddar sandwiches on the Weber Smoky Mountain. Let's go! I came across this ham on sale. I knew I had to have it. Picked it up. Saw something online a while ago. Wish I could remember where, about pulling a ham. So we are going to try it with this bad boy right here. This is a pre-cooked ham, and typically we just warm these up and slice them and serve them. But this one, we're actually going to cook way over that. We're going to cook it to 205, 210 today, so it's pull apart tender. First thing I noticed, this one has some skin left on it. And since I'm gonna wanna shred all this and get as much seasoning on here, I'm actually gonna pull this skin off real quick. We're gonna get this underneath exposed and try to get more flavor all the way around it. There we go, we got that skin off the top here. Now we're gonna give it a quick seasoning. Now this is a pretty dry surface, so I'm typically not a binder user, but today we're gonna use a binder on here to make sure that rub sticks. And I'm just gonna hit it with a little bit of olive oil. Get that surface somewhat tacky so that rub will stick. And today we're gonna be hitting it with JDQ Sweet Barbecue Rub. This stuff is fantastic. Today we're trying to keep to a sweet flavor profile with this because this is gonna be a salty ham. It is being cured and smoked already. So we're gonna add some sweetness to this throughout the cook. So let's get this rubbed up. Give the meat here a little rub as well. Now that's it as far as seasoning this ham up. We're gonna let this go ahead, set up a little bit on here while we go get the Weber Smoky Mountain fired up. So let's head over to the grill and get that fired up. We have this filled with jealous devil lump charcoal, and we have it mixed with cherry wood throughout here, so as it burns we get a lot of good smoke flavor. Got a couple of lighter cubes here. I'm gonna start right up. We're gonna pile some of these coals up here to make sure they get lit up nice. And we're just gonna let this charcoal catch up, and once it gets ashed over in the center and those wax cubes are melted away, we're gonna go ahead and put the rest of the Weber Smoky Mountain together. This fire's rocking, ready to go, nice and ashed over. The wax cubes are gone, so let's get this put together. I no longer have the pan that came with it. It got cruddy, I ended up tossing it, so I am gonna use a water pan on the rack below this, so let's go get this in and full of water. All put together. Now we're just gonna let it come up to temp. We're gonna try to rock this between 250 and 275 for this cook. Once this grill's up to temp, we're gonna get that ham on. Grill's rocking around 250 right now, perfect temperature. Let's go get this ham on the grill. Ham is on. We're gonna come back in a few hours and check on it, probably put it in a pan because we wanna keep that bottom safe. So we're just gonna shut it down, let it run for a few hours, and come back and check on it. We're about 2 hours and 45 minutes in on this cook. Time to go check some temps, see how we're looking. Let's go take a quick look. This ham is looking gorgeous, as you can tell, nice and juicy. Let's take some quick temperatures. Yeah, 164 up front, 150 on the side. Now in order to try to maintain the juiciness in this, we're gonna put it into a pan with a little bit of orange juice, and we're gonna hit it with a quick glaze, so let's go do that right now. We have our pan. We're just gonna move the ham over a little bit. Gonna put a little bit of orange juice in here just to cover the bottom, to keep some liquid in there. Just enough to cover the bottom. Look at that, that's looking great. Put that in there. We have some liquid in the pan, some orange juice. That's gonna really tenderize that bottom, and once we foil this up, it's gonna really tenderize it and break it down, and we're gonna have that sweet juices in the bottom of the pan that we're gonna mix into it when we pull. Next step, we're gonna glaze it. We're using Big Wick's Parker County Peach Pepper Jelly Glaze. This stuff is phenomenal. Let's go glaze this up. Spread it around and get it all over. Get that nice glaze on there. Ham's glazed in a pan with some orange juice. We're gonna let it go for about another hour, hour and a half, and then check on it, make sure that glaze is looking good. Maybe hit it with another glaze, and then we're gonna foil it to finish it off. So let's close this up and we will be back when it's time to check on it in about an hour, hour and a half. About another hour and a half in on this ham. Let's go take a look at it, see if it's ready to get wrapped up. Let's go. So you can see we're starting to get some of that bone pullback from this ham. That glaze is setting up beautifully. We're gonna take a few temps here real quick. 173, 169. So we're in at about 170 to 175 range on this. I think it's time to wrap it. So all I'm gonna do is take some foil, put it right over the top of the pan and let it finish cooking. First, I'm going to stick a probe in here so I can monitor the temp the rest of the way. Got it closed back up. I'm going to run this till it's about 205 to 210 internal. At that time, we're going to pull it off and let it rest. We'll be back then. We've been resting this ham in the Cambro for about an hour and a half or so. Time to take it out, shred it up, and see how it did. All right, let's open it up and let's take a look. My goodness, this looks good. Oh, look at that. I was worried about this shredding because I've never shredded ham before, but wow, look at this, how tender this is. Holy cow. Just like pulled pork. And it is pulled pork, isn't it? Pulled pork butt, I should say. Wow, look at this. This just shreds no problem. Mix it in with all those juices that are left in the bottom of the pan, that orange juice, that little bit of glaze in there, some of the juices that came out of the meat. Get that all back in together. I gotta try a piece of this, a little bit with that bark and the glaze on there. Holy cow, this is unbelievable. You got salty, you got sweet, you got a great smoke flavor. It's all there. I'm really surprised. I like ham, but I'm not a huge ham fan. This is awesome ham. This is all pulled. While this was resting, I took a block of cheese and I shredded some cheddar cheese, and I'm gonna make some hot ham and cheese sandwiches. I'm gonna throw them on the flat top real quick. Let me show you how I build these. I'm gonna start by spraying a little oil on the flat top here. Gonna take a couple nice pieces of buttered brioche and we're gonna throw them right on here to get toasting. While that's toasting, we're gonna hit this with some cheese. This is the cheese we grated while it was resting. This is so nice and fluffy that it's gonna melt beautifully. And when this melts, it's really gonna come down, so that's why I'm kind of using a lot of cheese on here. As this is toasting, we're just gonna pile some of that ham on here. Gonna give this a quick flip. Little pat. And the dome to let that cheese melt. After a few seconds, check it out. Give it another flip, make sure the other side's not burning. That's coming along nice. And we're gonna pull this off once the color of the bread is done and the cheese is melted through and everything's integrated on there. So I'm gonna flip a couple more times, pull it off, slice into it, and try it. Here we go, we have our sandwich made. That ham took about 6 hours to cook. It was about an hour and a half in the cooler, 7.5 total, and then 2 minutes on the flat top, and we got this great sandwich. So now all we have to do, slice into it and give it a try. Look at that. The juice coming out of there, it's so moist and tender. Gotta try a bite. This is a hot ham and cheese on steroids. I'm telling you what, this is absolutely delicious. A must try. You get the salty from the ham, you get the sweet from the rub and the pepper jelly glaze. You get this wonderful brioche bread, a little buttery. You get so much cheese on there. Oh, this is fantastic. And if you want, throw some sauces on here, throw some more glaze on there. It's gonna just elevate it even further. If you like what we did, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment down below. Check me out on social media and we will be talking to you all soon. Thanks again, everybody. Take care. Peace.